So I've opened up assignments.html, and we're going to be modifying this page to create pull-down menus for the textbook assignments and for the lab assignments. And then we're going to create an icon bar at the bottom of the page. So first thing we're going to do is create a duplicate of this so we can have our original. And we're going to name the original Assignments Version 1. And I'm going to close that because that is not the one I want to change. Opening back up Assignments. And then for the CSS, I'm going to open up Assignments. And I'm going to save this as assignment v1.css. And I'm going to go ahead and close that and open back up the original. So what I'm going to be changing is my original for assignments and assignment CSS. And the version 1s we're just keeping. It's always a good idea to keep a copy of your old code just in case you end up wanting to go back to it. And so what we're going to do is add a little nav tag right below section. And I'm going to take the closing nav, pressing Control and X. I am going to move that down to the bottom. And I'm going to put it right after the closing UL. Control and V will paste. Okay, so this is my first little section I'm going to be converting. And the next change I'm going to make is I'm going to take the next to textbook assignments, I'm going to add UL. And I'm going to get rid of the closing. We're going to add that in later. So this is an unordered list. And then my lesson 2, I have to add an LI, and I'm going to get rid of the closing. And I'm going to pause just a second and make this bigger so you can see what I'm doing better. Okay, so I think this is going to be a little better for you to see what I'm doing here with the code. So, so far what I've done is I've added nav right below section, and then I added a closing nav right above my closing section. I have added an opening UL. I removed the closing, and I've added an opening LI. Right next to the opening LI, I'm going to add a href equals, and then in double quotes, I'm just going to give it a hashtag. That is a dummy link. Okay, and we will be using a dummy link in the menu. I'm going to take the closing A and move that to the end. And I'm going to get rid of the H3. So this is a line. Then what comes next is the anchor for a link. It is a dummy link. I've got lesson 2, and then I've got my closing anchor. This nested list is absolutely fine. And what I'm going to put at the bottom is the closing LI. And this goes with this. Okay, they go together. And I have to do this for each of the lessons. So what you can do if you don't want to do all the typing is just copy the line and the anchor. And I'm going to highlight right over the top of H3 and paste it by pressing Control and V. I'm going to do the same thing for lesson 4 and lesson 5 and 6, all the way down the line. And I haven't coded in lesson 10 yet. And then I'm going to change the closing H3 to a closing anchor. So I'm going to copy that and we'll just paste right over the top. And the only thing I still need to do is put in that closing line. So this is the nested unordered list that is actually going to be our pull-down menu, and I have a closing line below that. So this closing line is going to go right after the closing UL. So I'm just pasting it in here. Okay. And I'm just kind of visually checking to make sure I have things in the right spot. Because it's really easy to paste things in the wrong location. All right, so that looks good. And then I've got the closing nav, and right above that, I need to do the closing UL. And this closing UL is for the opening UL that I have here. Okay, that goes with this. So I'm going to save this. And it's still not going to be functioning as a pull-down menu. We have to do changes in the CSS for that to happen. But I am going to go ahead and pause the video and I'm going to adjust the lab assignment section. I'm basically going to do the same thing to this section that I did to the textbook assignments. So as you can see, I have modified my lab assignment section, added the dummy links, and then I've also added nav, the opening UL, and I adjusted the bottom by doing a closing UL, closing nav. And so now I am ready to style this thing. So I'm going to go ahead and open up assignments.css. And I need to add quite a bit of styling. And I'm going to use my profitable web design business as a model for what I want to do here. So I don't have nav in here right now, so I'm going to go ahead and add nav. And I'm going to set the margin to auto. And I'm going to go ahead and set the text alignment to center. And then I'm actually going to go into the Profitable Web Design page and copy and paste all of the nav code, and then I'm going to tweak it in here. So I have nav and then nav UL. So nav UL is referring to this, right? So here's nav, inside nav, here's UL. Okay, so this is the level that we're looking at. And so I have a gradient displayed, which I am okay with. The only difference is I don't want that color in this particular page. So I might choose Alice Blue. No, it's not going to be dark enough. Let me do Slate Blue. Oh, nope. Let's try this. All right, we'll see how that looks. I have a box shadow set up, which I am okay with. And we'll see how it looks. Padding top and bottom, I have at 0. Right and left, I have at 20, which is okay. I've got surrounded corners. I have taken away underlining for the links because at this level, they're dummy links. Position relative is fine. The font color is black and it is bold. It's going to take up 100% of the width, which is fine. And it's displaying as a table. That's all fine. Then within NavUL, okay, the line, which is this, okay, all of these first lines here, that is also going to display as a table. And then the anchors are going to display block, which means they're going to be vertical. Okay, so anything that is an anchor is going to be vertical. So I'm going to start looking at this as I am changing it, because it should work with these settings. It's just that you may not like how it looks. And that does require making some adjustments. So I'm opening this up in my other window and I'm going to pull it over. Yeah, I can definitely see I'm going to want to make some adjustments. Because I can tell right now I'm not thrilled with the color scheme. And I definitely want this to span the width. Yeah, so there's quite a bit I don't like. So back over here, back into the CSS. Let's see. I don't see anything in there that I dislike. Here's a problem. I don't like the hover colors. And honestly, I don't like this color. So those things need to change as well. But I do like my H2 color, or one of the colors I saw, H3. So I'm going to take this color, and I'm going to use that one here. And I'll probably use that one here as well. And then maybe I'll go with Alice Blue here, which is a pale blue. And let's see. So this is going to display a column. That is fine on the hover. This color needs to change. So nav UL UL, that is referring. So we got nav UL, that is referring to this list. Okay, so nav UL UL LIA. What the heck is that? Nav UL UL LIA. It's the link. Okay, so that is not the color I want for the link. We'll go with that color for the background. I think I'm going to go with black. So let me save this, reload it. Yeah, and I definitely want this top part rounded. And these opacity settings are going to be a problem. I can see that already. With opacity settings, if you have a pull-down menu, you can run into problems like I'm showing you here. I can't select the item below. See how there's the lab assignments is kind of over the top of it? That is a problem with transparency. So that needs to be fixed. All right, so taking a look at what I've got here. All right, I don't think I want to constrain the width at all. And I don't want to constrain the width here. Yeah, this is a problem. This is affecting the entire navigation menu. And I don't want to constrain the width here. All right, let me save this again. Okay, it's getting better. All right, you can still see I have an issue here, and you will run into the same thing, and that we need to fix. And I'd also like this top part to be rounded. Maybe the text can be black. All right, so this displaying underneath business is a huge problem because I can't select all of my links. And so that is we have to find the right place to put our z-index. The area that I want to change and add a border radius to should be nav UL UL LIA, and then also to the hover. So let's see if that's right. All right, that's not what I intended to change, but I do like it. So I'm going to keep it. And I'm going to add it here as well. Let me save. All right. Getting better. Let's try it here. We still haven't gotten to our Z index yet, which needs to be fixed as well. And here, let's do this one too. Changing my mind. Let's put it here. All right, there, it changed on that. Now we just need to get it to change when we hover. Let's put it up on this one. There we go. All right, the only thing I'm seeing that I still need to fix is the Z index, because this is a huge problem. We definitely need to be able to come in and select our items at the bottom of the menu. Yeah, so it should be this. Let me save that. And the Z index does not work if you have opacity, so you need to get rid of all opacity settings. That did jump a little bit, but that's not quite where we need this. So it's these items we want on the top. So it's section nav, UL, UL, LI. So we got nav, UL, UL, LI. Let's put it right here. Oops. That is not what we want. We want a Z index. Let me take it out of there. Let's save it. And let's reload. Well, it is getting better. Because it is doing it on the hover, but we actually wanted to do that when it first displays as well. I mean, this would work. We would be able to pick from the menu, but this isn't quite how we want it. We are getting much closer though. I'm going to try putting it on this one, but let's do, I'm not going to put them at the same level. There we go. This is exactly what we need. And this is working as well. Okay, then the only other thing that I probably would do here is maybe shorten this bar with the linear gradient, because it's kind of going off the end there. And I don't like how that looks. But I am incredibly picky. Let's see. Yeah, but this would be what I need to shorten. Let's do a width of 90. And that doesn't look too bad. All right. If you wanted rounded corners on this, you certainly could add that. Okay, again, that's this section. Let's reload. Okay, that does not look too bad. Now, if you wanted a gap between these two sections, what I would do is add a little top margin above lab. And that I would do over here. So this is not required, but it might be something you might want to add. And then I would just put an inline style in this nav that is for your lab assignments. And we can just say margin top. And why don't we make it 2%? Save this. And that puts a little more space between them. If you would prefer to have that on the section, okay, we can just take it out of nav and throw it up in section. And I think I like that better. Okay, then the only thing I have left to style and add is the icon bar that I'm going to put at the bottom, and that will be the next video.